Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. A convicted sex offender was arrested in Yucca Valley on suspicion of failing to register with the state of California. On Thursday at around 11 a.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies assigned to the town of Yucca Valley contacted Dwayne Bronson, a 55-year-old transient in the grocery outlet complex on 29 Palms Highway. County records show that Bronson was found to be a registered sex offender who had failed to register with the state in the last 30 days, as the terms of his release require. County records show that Bronson has failed to keep the courts aware of his movements several times over the last decade. Dwayne Bronson was arrested for suspicion of failing to register as a sex offender and is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $30,000 bail. The Landers Homestead Valley Association's monthly meeting took place last night. Annalise Kuiper brings us details from the meeting.
Sergeant Bruman, representing the Morongo Basin Sheriff Station, reported that there had been a downtick in Landers crime recently, and only 2 burglaries were reported last month. There was an accident with the off-road vehicle associated with the Sheriff's Department's off-road unit, the Dust Devils. The deputy broke his leg, and the ORV was totaled. Next up was Battalion Chief Chris Bowden, who reported that the brand new fire engine had been delivered to Fire Station 42, as well as an off-road vehicle. A drone program with 1 operator has been added as well. Meeting attendees were urged to register their cell phones so that urgent warnings and evacuation notices may be received promptly. A residential assessment program is also available, where a representative will assess your property for fire hazards and give advice on how to make your property more fire safe. Go to sbcfire.org for appointments and for more information. 3rd District County Supervisor Don Rao's field representative Glenn Harris reported that Caltrans will begin the Highway 247 road widening and highway improvement work on May 18th from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. Birth certificates, death and marriage certificates can all be obtained from the Public Records Office every 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month at the Government Building on White Feather Road. For free legal aid, the San Bernardino County Mobile Defense Unit will be at the Joshua Tree Community Center on Wednesday, May 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for help with outstanding legal matters. And scams are on the rise about outstanding warrants, so beware. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
And speaking of the San Bernardino County Mobile Defense Unit, low-level crimes and past indiscretions can hang around a person's permanent record, acting as a roadblock to simple but necessary services like renewing your state ID. Once you lack a valid ID, job hunting and housing can become more difficult, creating a spiral that can be hard to pull out of. If you find yourself in a situation where the actions of your past are impacting the decisions you're making for your future, there is an event happening tomorrow in Joshua Tree that can help. Online news editor Robert Hayden has the story.
The San Bernardino County Public Defender's Office is bringing its mobile defense program to the Joshua Tree Community Resource Fair this Wednesday, May 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're going to be offering on-site record clearing and expungements, the clearing of bench warrants, summary probation assistance, assistance in resolving or eliminating outstanding fines, and re-enrollment in court-required classes. The Mobile Defense Program's mission of providing rural residents with equitable access to social services began in April of last year in Landers, and it's grown since then, holding events in other areas of the county like San Bernardino, Fontana, Barstow, and Lucerne Valley. In addition to the record-clearing services, the court is also offering self-help support for legal matters and family law or small claims. Here's San Bernardino County Public Defender Thomas Sohn talking about why providing these services in rural areas is an important part of public service.
So when we talk about access and equitable access, there isn't a whole lot in some of these remote areas. So our thought was, how can we better our service and how can we better serve our communities by going to them? The majority of our clients, they don't have reliable transportation. So what happens is if they get cited for something, even something minor, they might not make it to court. And if they don't make that drive, then a warrant gets issued, and all of a sudden you have a downward spiral of negative consequences.
That spiral of consequences can be extremely difficult to extract yourself from, especially if it impacts your ability to get a driver's license or apply for housing. Assistant Public Defender Kelly Bywer says that in many cases, the laws have changed and time is on the side of those who want to clear their records and move on with their lives.
Even if somebody had something 15 years ago, what their experience was may not be how it would be addressed now. There's a lot of automatic sealing for old cases that have been dismissed, or even cases that weren't dismissed. After a certain period, it's supposed to come off of your rap sheet, and you should be able to answer questions by a potential employer differently than before, as if the offense never happened.
The event will take place on Wednesday at the Joshua Tree Community Center, located at 6171 Sunburst Street in Joshua Tree. Reservations aren't required to attend the event, but there are some steps that you can take before Wednesday that can be helpful. We'll have a link where you can register and get more information at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The 29 Palms City Council will gather this evening for a hard look at current and future budgeting, as well as the reallocation of funds for addressing blight citywide. Reporter Heather Clisby has more.
Tonight, the 29 Palms City Council will kick off their meeting with a presentation to the Youth Council by Senator Rosalici Okowabogue. City staff will then present the preliminary two-year general fund budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 and 2026-2027 for initial council review. The new fiscal year begins on July 1st. City leaders will then discuss a possible reallocation of funds to clean up property eyesores across the city. Council will consider reallocating the remaining $30,000 of the Navigation and Resource Center and shower funds to residential, commercial, vacant land, and homeless camp cleanup. The final agenda item will address an amendment to the city manager contract. A closed session on the matter will take place at 5:30 p.m. prior to the council meeting. The meeting takes place on Tuesday, May 13th at 6 p.m. at City Hall, 6136 Adobe Road. It can be live streamed or viewed on demand via the city's website, 29palms.org. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission will consider an application for in-home music lessons within the town. Here is reporter Adeline J. Wells with more on tonight's meeting's agenda.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission meeting will begin with a public hearing concerning a Class 3 home occupation permit. The applicant proposes to conduct private music lessons and music composition within an accessory dwelling unit with a maximum of 5 customers per day, 5 days per week. Town staff recommends that the commission approve the application. The commission will then consider an exterior color change application for Taqueria El Comandante, located at 56945 29 Palms Highway. Tonight will be the 4th time the item has come before the commission. It was previously continued with a recommendation that the applicant work with town staff to select a color palette and landscape plan compliant with the commercial design guidelines. Town staff recommends that the commission again continues the item. The Planning Commission will also receive the Land Development Update. Tonight's meeting is open to the public and begins at 6 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Adeline J. Wells.
The Morongo Unified School District Board of Trustees holds their regular meeting tonight at 6 p.m. at Joshua Tree Elementary. Reporter Gabriel Hart has highlights of the meeting's agenda for us.
The board will recognize the valedictorian and salutatorian students from 29 Palms High School and Yucca Valley High School for their outstanding academic achievements, as well as 15 honorees who attended MUSD's Aspiring Administrators course that focused on leadership development and included interactive sessions with instructional services, HR, and business services to build foundational knowledge. Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources Stacy Smalling will give a report on the MUSD CSEA Sunshine Negotiation Proposal for 2025-26, which the board is requested to adopt, and Assistant Superintendent of Business Services Sharon Flores will discuss Measure C bond costs of issuance. The board is requested to adopt the updated governance handbook, and there will be a policy update to incorporate strategies identified by the California Department of Education for encouraging student attendance to reflect new law beginning July 1st, 2025, that authorizes districts to implement attendance recovery programs for students in grades transitional kindergarten to 12 to make up lost instructional time and offset absences. For action items, the Board of Education is requested to adopt the resolution proclaiming May 1st as School Principals Day and May 6th as Day of the Teacher in the Morongo Unified School District. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Gabriel Hart.
And finally, if you live in Yucca Valley and are curious about the status of your sewer hookup, the High Desert Water District is holding an open house event tomorrow. The event offers an opportunity for the public to learn about the Phase 2 sewer project and upcoming construction work set to begin this summer in the Country Club neighborhood of Yucca Valley. During the open house, community members will have the chance to engage directly with the High Desert Water District project team members and get detailed information about the scope of construction, areas that will be impacted, and how private property connections will be handled. One of the key topics will be the Western Joshua Tree Mitigation Plan, which is an ongoing environmental protection initiative being worked on by the state of California. The meeting will be held at 4 p.m. tomorrow at the High Desert Water District office located at 55439 29 Palms Highway in Yucca Valley. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.